Protesters are once again calling for the removal of what some say is a controversial statue in downtown Charleston. Our Nick Reagan is following these renewed calls. And Nick, a local lawmaker also wants the statue of John C. Calhoun in Marion Square to come down.
That's right. Representative Wendell Gilliard is attempting to set up a meeting between himself and the owners of Marion Square to get the statue removed. Calhoun was a former vice president who was known for his leadership in South Carolina, but he was also known for his strong support of slavery.
That statue, to a lot of people, is the equivalent of a Hitler statue out there, okay? You know, and that's something we have to rectify. They need to get on board this train. This is a new era.
Representative Wendell Gilliard calling for the removal of the John C. Calhoun statue in Marion Square once again. However, the park and the statue are privately owned by the Washington Light Infantry and the Sumter Guard Board of Officers. Gilliard is trying to set up a meeting with the groups to discuss a peaceful solution.
In Charleston, we have a great opportunity to do it with respect, dignity and respect. You know, bring it down the right way and put it in a museum where it belongs.
For some, it's still a controversial decision. Many are asking who gets to decide which statues and monuments should come down.
Are we going to tear down Monticello? Are we going to tear down the Washington Monument? No, they had slaves. It's part of our history. If you don't remember your own past, you're bound to repeat it.
Now, I reached out to the city for a comment, and when I spoke with Mayor Tecklenburg earlier today, he said he didn't want to discuss the statue. However, he did hint at a possible announcement next week.
A statue many see as a symbol of hate is coming down after 5 years. Hate struck the holy city at Mother Emanuel AME Church.
Charleston Mayor John Tecklenburg calling for the John C. Calhoun statue to be removed from Marion Square. We have team coverage of this historic day this afternoon. Raphael James is live at Mother Emanuel. Nick Reagan following protesters calling for racial justice. But first, let's go to Rob Way. Rob, the mayor of the city of Charleston, says the Calhoun statue could come down soon.
Bill, Mayor John Tecklenburg has put forth a resolution. Now that has to go to City Council, and they only need to vote on it once. Now, if it is approved there, that is when the statue could be removed. All of this, of course, being announced at the base of this massive statue here in downtown Charleston just a couple hours ago, right here in Marion Square. Now, the official vote for that resolution will be happening next Tuesday during the City Council meeting, which starts at 5 p.m. And again, if it passes, the statue will be removed and put in a museum. Now, as for the rest of the monument, he tells me that's set to come down in pieces. The 115-foot monument looks over Marion Square here in the heart of downtown Charleston, and on top of it stands John C. Calhoun, the 7th Vice President of the United States and a supporter of slavery. Today's announcement was made next to council members, Black Lives Matter activists, and in front of about 200. A commission has also been created, and Councilmember William Dudley Gregory says they'll be looking at all statues around the city.
This commission will attack racism with a vengeance unprecedented in the city of Charleston's history.
He went on to say that they're going to be also looking at options of building statues for the enslaved people who built Charleston. Now, as for that resolution, once again, that's going up for a vote next Tuesday. Their meeting starts at 5 p.m. over online, but again, that meeting will be happening on Tuesday. Live in downtown Charleston, Rob Way, Live 5 News.
Rob, thank you. Right now, Charleston Black Lives Matter leading a peaceful protest right by where the mayor made that announcement of the Calhoun statue coming down. Nick Reagan live there in Marion Square right now. Nick, what are you seeing at the protest so far? Peaceful?
Yeah, Bill, peaceful for sure. You can definitely hear behind me the folks have started chanting about that statue. Now, a couple of minutes ago, all of the protesters circled around the statue and they decided to start putting up their signs up on the statue. You can actually see it behind me, some of those signs reading things like, "Take it down, it's time to atone for injustice, to take down the statue." They, again, are doing a lot of chanting at this point. Now, they are going to be speaking here for a couple of minutes, and then they do plan on marching down to Broad and then over to East Bay, and then they will end back up here at Marion Square. Now, one thing we should emphasize is that they are emphasizing some of those social distancing guidelines. I spoke with one of the protesters who was actually out handing out masks, and she says she's handed out about 20 of them. She's got boxes still in her car that she will be handing out to anybody who needs a mask here at Marion Square. Reporting for Live 5 News, Nick Reagan, Live 5 News.
Well, during that City Council meeting tonight, it was a unanimous vote by City Council after nearly 2 hours of discussion between them and comments from the public. Paola Tristan Arruda has more.
I rise today in support of the resolution to remove the John C. Calhoun statue from Marion Square.
I'm here today to ask you to please not remove our history.
More than 300 people in the community wrote to City Council about the statue. The vast majority wanted it to come down. Tonight, City Council members ultimately decided to take the statue down.
So we know that it was a symbol that divided the community back over 100 years ago. And it has been that way. The statue has served as a symbol of division in our community. And we don't need that. We need symbols that unite us, that bring us together, not tear us apart.
The decision came after the city did some legal research to first figure out whether or not they owned the statue and could take it down. Some people feel like this is a part of our history, so it should remain up, while City Council members believe this is the best compromise.
The purpose of this resolution is not to discard any of our past, but to honor our lessons, not to erase any of that history, but to write a new chapter in history.
For weeks, people have been protesting racial injustice in our community. They say Calhoun is a symbol of white supremacy, but while council members thanked the peaceful protesters, one took the time to address rioters.
You're not the reason for my decision tonight. You were not there to bring peace to our community, and that's what we need. Now, I'm going to support relocating Calhoun statue because it's a wedge that is splitting us apart. I support this for the good people who jump in for the good of our community.
Now, we do have a crew staffed by the statue all night and all morning in the event that the statue is removed in the overnight hour.
Live 5 News starts now with breaking news.
Right now at 5, workers are still trying to take down the statue of John C. Calhoun in Marion Square downtown. Listen to this. They started the process about 17 hours ago, but they've run into some unexpected delays. And we just got word from the Charleston Museum. They sent a letter to the mayor last week saying at this time they do not want to accept the statue when it comes down, but will consider taking it in the future. This comes as Charleston City Council voted unanimously last night to remove the statue of John C. Calhoun after hundreds of comments poured in on both sides of the issue. We're looking now at the statue coming down. Look at this, folks. History in the making. You're watching it right now. The John C. Calhoun finally coming down after 17 hours and 6 minutes. And as a Charlestonian, a man who was born and raised here, I never thought I would see this sight. Did you?
Definitely not, Bill. That statue has been up there 124 years, went up in 1896, June 27th. So Saturday will officially mark 124 years that it has been standing in Marion Square, downtown Charleston. But right now you're watching, and John C. Calhoun is on his way down.
And Abby is trying to talk to the mayor who is on the scene. Here we go, Abby.
With you, Mr. Mayor?
Sure, how are you?
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so I've got the mayor here. Tell me about your reaction.
Well, it's we're pleased to to get this job done. It was a challenge getting Mr. Calhoun down. You could say it's been a challenge for 350 years, what slavery and racism has meant to this community and this country. So maybe fitting that it was a little challenging to get Mr. Calhoun off the perch. But he's down safely. No one is hurt. We're going to store him away in a safe place, and glad to move on past this milestone. But we were so uplifted to have the unanimous support of our city council last night in this action. It really showed a sense of unity of our community. I know some folks are concerned about, quote, erasing history, but that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing is creating a new chapter of history of respect for one another in our community.
We are starting to see that truck move now. We are starting to see the statue move out of the main heart of the downtown area there. We see it on that red flatbed truck there. You are watching the John C. Calhoun statue wrapped in tarp there, now being moved away and along the street there, down from out of the downtown area of Charleston. That statue came down just a little bit after 5 o'clock this afternoon, after the efforts began around midnight last night to get it down.